Hi everybody. I'm thinking I've got some time in my busy life to make several videos on my process. I've been painting for 50 plus years, and I started out drawing like most kids, doing cartoons and stuff, and I graduated to watercolor and doing cartoons and watercolor, and then I went to university to study painting and got my degree at Guelph. There's so much to know about this business, and I thought I would leave some helpful hints for those who are struggling or just wanting to start out. I do workshops for beginners if you want to check out my website at mccarthyart.ca. I thought I would discuss the tools of the trade and the equipment that I use. I could probably start by showing you my mechanical Caddy, which is extremely handy. It'll last you a lifetime if you buy one. It's all steel and metal, and the drawers move in and out. I keep my paints, my brushes. At one time when I was doing slides, I would put that in there and all my reference material. I work in Winsor Newton pigment. I use the higher grade of Winsor Newton, not the Cotman. I don't like Cotman, it's got fillers in it, so avoid that. I mix all of my colors on a white plate, so it's a neutral background. And I will have probably 15 or 20 of these on hand, ready to mix up puddles of paint when I first started painting. I play with Arch 300-pound paper and 555, which is the heaviest paper. It's all rag paper, it's not pulp paper. And this is, for me, it's made in France and it's the best paper in the world. I usually buy cheap acrylic brushes. You can buy sable brushes. They're like 35, 40 bucks, or they used to be, but they're not necessary. I use a Sabline brush. It's called a Premier 1. I'll buy one, the whole gamut from 1 to 6. I abuse them, I spin them, I'll attack the paper with them, and usually they last about 2 paintings and I have to throw them out. But I like them because I like the weight of them, I like the size of them, and I like the length of the hairs, which is very important. Some sign brushes, the hairs are really quite long, they're almost an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, not necessary, okay? I like the brush to be a little bit stiffer. I don't use a lot of bristle brushes. The only bristle brush I use is my famous fan brush. It's a Premier number 2, number 4, and it is pig hair. And I use this probably 50% of the time. I won't get into it too much, but that's my secret weapon. It gives me great textures, okay? And they go up to 6, 7, and 8 if you want to work on, more surface and get to the skies and that sort of thing a little quicker. Sky paintings are done with a hake brush with a very soft, I don't know what kind of hair that is, I have to admit, but you can see the 3 or 4 different sizes there, and I use all of them, and I keep them cleaned regularly. I wash them with soap and water so I can use them next time. This brush is about 25 years old, okay? And I keep it nice and clean and in tip-top shape. I do my drawings with a HB pencil, sometimes an H pencil, and I sharpen it with a razor blade, and that's the tip there. I don't use pencil sharpeners, so I like to keep that really, really nice and sharp, and I use a sandpaper block to fine-tune the tip of the pencil. This is kind of a handy little brush. It's called the Incredible Nib, and you can put mist kit down with it, or you can scrub little surfaces to bring the weight of the paper back, and they will last you about a year or 2, depending how much abuse you put to the thing, but that's a handy little tool. I staple the paper, I soak it for 4 to 5 minutes tops, and I use a DeWalt electric stapler, and I use a 3/8 inch staple. This puppy saves your wrists when you get to be my age. You don't want to be squeezing on an arrow number 50 all the time, so that was back in the old days. This puppy is really handy. I use these plastic yogurt containers for keeping my paint in, and tap water. and I change it quite regularly. I don't like getting the water polluted and it ends up in your artwork. This is something I use to maintain the white of the paper. It's a mist kit, and it's actually latex rubber, and you got to be very careful with this. You dip your brush in soap to keep the quality of the brushes, and if you don't, it'll wreck your brushes. You might as well throw it out after, because that latex dries and you can't get it out unless you use lacquer thinner, and your brushes will never be the same. So that's and a box of Kleenex I keep handy, and I use Q-tips. And to lay down the mist kit, I use an 8 nib. So that's pretty much it for the tools. My chair is on wheels. It's a very expensive office chair. I like to work flat because I like to draw, so I use a drafting table, and it goes up and down, and I've done 7-foot paintings on this, and this is my go-to table. I don't work from an easel. I'm a little different that way. Okay, so if that's enough to get you going, I'm going to be doing other videos on tricks and tips on how to do watercolors. We'll save the oils for another video because I do them too. But if you want to like and subscribe, I'd be grateful for that. Keep an eye open for the other videos that are coming at you. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.